Welcome to Department of Labor and Beer. This is episode number 6, and we are sitting down with Joe today. Thanks for joining us, Joe.
Pleasure.
Joined with us also today, we got Pork Chop, Moto, and myself, Bo. And if Moto will get us started with a couple stories for us.
All right, so Tinder is not exactly known for its great date stories. Usually they're pretty shocking and strange. So when I found this particular one, and this is probably on the top list of my most terrible Tinder stories that I've ever heard, you can bet it's pretty shocking. Earlier this week, Liam Smith, a grad student at Britain's University of Bristol, had a nice dinner with a woman he met on Tinder. The night was still young, so he invited her over to his house to drink wine and watch a documentary about Scientology. Sounds like a great
perfect
date. Yeah. At some point, the unidentified woman asked to use the bathroom. When she returned, Smythe said she had a panicked look in her eye. Smythe said the woman told him, "I went for a poo in your toilet, and it did not flush." He claims the woman confessed to reaching in the toilet bowl and wrapping the dookie in a tissue paper and throwing it out the window.
Why?
However, the thing about this particular building is that there's one window and then there's another window.
So,
wanting to be a gentleman, Smith suggested going outside together, bagging up the offending poo and throwing it away, and then pretending like the whole thing had never happened.
shut up. There's no pretending.
Unfortunately, the story gets crappier. Smythe's bathroom window doesn't open to the garden, but into an 18-inch gap that is separated from the outside world by another non-opening double-glazed window. He says, it was into this twilight zone that my date had thrown her poo, he wrote. According to Smythe, when he went to go get a hammer and smash out the window, his date decided to climb in head first and retrieve the poo. That was when she realized she was stuck upside down. So now she's stuck upside down in between two pieces of glass.
This is the first date?
Wow. This is the first date.
What? How? Man.
If this is any date, are you kidding me?
I would seriously kick her out. Well, after like...
She's stuck in the house. You can't kick her out.
After a few dates, I can probably...
Deal with some shit?
Give her a little bit of forgiveness, but the first date, no. Like, you poop and you throw it out my window? What the fuck kind of shit are you doing?
So at first that I thought that this was a bullshit story. I was like, there's no way that this could happen. So this is a Twitter message from the Avon Fire and Rescue.
They tweeted
No
out a
way.
picture.
Oh my god.
We are looking at a woman stuck upside down, and you can see her through the
man.
permanently closed window. And she doesn't look too comfortable. Looks like she was going after her shit, Why
Wait.
not just leave it?
Yeah.
So the fire and
Because then it's
rescue...
going to stink and it's going to be in between the two sections of glass.
The fire and rescue team took a picture before saving her.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Well,
Well, it's
somebody
going to
did.
take some time.
Nobody's going to believe that story, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'd probably have to have a picture with that.
But let's go back, because her first mistake was, why was she reaching in the toilet to grab her shit out of the toilet? I don't care if you clog the toilet and you're embarrassed. Like, that is the last thing I would ever think about doing. Who goes in and reaches for their shit out of the toilet when it's clogged? That doesn't make any sense at all.
Putting myself in her position, I would have never even said anything.
Well, why not ask for
Like,
a
I would've been
plunger?
like,
Well, were you going to leave a
just
floater and then he has to pee later? He's
No,
gonna
I'm
see
talking
it.
about like throwing it out the window.
Oh, yeah,
If
why
I,
did
if
she
I
even
threw
say
my
anything?
poop out the window,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even say anything,
No.
dude. I'd be like,
Wash
no,
my
you
hands,
deal
walk
with it
out like
later.
nothing happened.
Yeah, exactly.
And but his toilet's probably still clogged, right?
Now he's got like 4 firemen in there.
Jesus.
There's him and her in there. But he said that he hasn't like completely counted her out as a future date, but he's just kind of busy right now.
Yeah, you'd be done.
Not really.
She's
be over,
counted
dude.
out. He's full of shit.
Yeah.
He knew she
She's
was
not
going to
full of
see
shit.
her listen to this.
She's empty now.
So have you guys heard about these Habrio gummy bears that are sugar-free?
No, but it sounds terrible.
Okay, so there's now a challenge going around to see who can eat a whole bag of these gummy bears without basically shitting themselves.
Or throwing
Oh.
up.
Because it's a laxative, and you can eat like a handful of them, but you definitely can't eat a bag. Most people can't even eat like 6 of them.
I could do it.
Is it one of those things where you buy in like the first aid section for your kids to have bowel movements
No,
or
it's
something?
just like gummy bears, but they're sugar-free.
Oh, it's sold in the candy section.
Yeah, but whatever the sugar-free thing is, like,
has
It's
laxative.
a
in it.
laxative to most people.
Or the fake
So what's
sugar
the time
or
limit?
whatever.
Did they give you a time limit
To eat the bag,
to eat the bag, and then how long do you have to last without pooping?
like at one sitting, basically.
So eat the whole bag without shitting yourself.
Yeah,
That's pretty much.
that's how known these are. Now,
So as soon as you eat the bag, you can go poop.
Well, everybody's
I'll
different,
I'll
I'm
challenge
sure.
you to eat the bag.
Yeah, I think we.
I'll give you 30 minutes.
I think on the next episode we're taking this challenge.
I never said anything.
Yeah,
about
it was
accepted.
I think you were challenged.
I challenge to you, Pork Chop. We are gonna both eat.
We better
a bag.
bring back-
Who can finish it first and who can last the longest? Let's see if we can both.
We better
last
bring
the
back
whole
Eric's
podcast.
for EMT then. 'Cause
We
I
might need some medical help.
Yeah.
So the first person to shit is the winner or the loser?
Loser. I think it's you got to hold it down and hold in your turd for the longest. One of us is going to end up with shit in our pants. I mean,
So this university professor in Michigan, he had a whole bowl of these on his desk, and somebody decided to come along and polish off the entire bowl. Yeah. And,
the munchies.
And now she's threatening to sue this guy for him having this candy on there, and basically she almost shit herself. She says, not long after eating 20 of these, all hell broke loose. I had gastrointestinal experience like nothing I ever imagined. Cramps, sweating, bloating, and beyond my worst nightmare. I've had food poisoning from bad shellfish, and that was almost like a skip in the park compared to what was going on inside me.
that bad.
First, she excused herself from any commitments, and then she called in sick, he wrote. The next day, she confronted me, blaming me for the whole ideal that I had deliberately placed those gummy bears, and it was all a ploy to humiliate her. Yeah, so now she's like gone to HR, and there's all this other stuff, and
This was a party?
this is like at work. He
Oh.
had these sitting on his desk, and she decided to hog them all to herself.
She ate
You
'em
eat
all.
20 passing by his desk.
Right.
What the fuck kind of shit is that?
She
man?
was
That's not-
standing
that doesn't-
there eating
What?
them.
I don't expect anybody to walk by my desk, if I had a desk, to eat all my freaking candy
Right.
at once. Like, that's no share.
Probably did it on purpose.
That's rude.
Like that happens a lot, plenty of times before. I'm
I
like,
mean,
I'm
yeah,
gonna
I
get him
could
this
see
time.
that. Like, oh, this is a whole little thing on the internet.
I think she had it coming, man.
All right, so now she's trying to sue him.
Or
Yeah, she's threatening
trying
to
to-
sue him.
let's dig a little deeper. He probably does bring candy all the time,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
he wanted to find that culprit that eats all the candy
Yeah.
that day.
Sounds like it could have been a setup.
Yep.
She might be right.
All right, there we go. That's what he was
but she's
thinking.
a fucking hog. Who does
Well,
that?
yeah,
Just
that's
dumps
rude.
the whole bowl in her mouth
Right.
And it's
20
not
of
even
them.
hers.
like a fucking
20
Not
gummy
hers.
bears. Like,
Yeah. What the
So-
fuck?
All right, so that reminds me. She's trying to sue him. That reminds me of the guy that broke into the into a family's home, and they had been out of town. They were out of town for a week or whatever. And the guy broke into their home and got stuck in their garage. The garage door opener had gotten stuck and wasn't working. And so he gets stuck in the garage, and he's in there for the whole week while they're gone. And all that's in there is dog food and Coca-Cola. And so he couldn't get out, and so he ate the dog food and drank the Coca-Cola to survive. And they got back after the week, found the guy in the garage, and then later he sued that family and won for I don't know what exactly it was, but he won a lawsuit against that family because of his life was endangered. I don't know, but he was stuck in the garage for a week and had to eat dog food and drink Coca-Cola because that's all they had. And he was able to win a lawsuit against them because he couldn't get out of the garage.
Yeah, see, they should have just killed him.
Right. Yeah, they would have been better
Nobody knew
off
he was
if he
there.
would have starved to death.
Nobody
and
knew he was
died.
there.
Nobody
I'm willing
knew.
to bet he had no ID on him. He didn't tell anybody where he was going.
If they would have been out of town for 3 more days,
Nobody missed him, apparently.
he wouldn't have made
They
it.
should have just
and
killed
then
him.
they wouldn't have had to deal with any repercussions.
Yep.
And what did they do wrong? A family goes on vacation, someone breaks in your house, gets stuck in there, and let's say they die. Well, this guy didn't die. Should you be liable for that? I mean, it's disturbing.
Yeah.
But that's what it reminded me of. You can't sue people. It's baffling to me that we can sue somebody and win when we're the ones in the wrong. Like if you break into someone's house, if you eat all their gummy bears and you shit their pants and you shit your pants, that's your fault. The reason that you got shit dribbling down your leg is because you pretty much stole their gummy bears. So, I mean, you asked for it. How do you blame somebody else for that? That doesn't make sense.
And if you would
That's
like to
irritating.
If you would like to see Pork Chop eat a 5-pound bag of sugar-free gummy bears, go to patreon.com right now.
Oh, we're doing it.
Oh, man.
This is we're each getting a bag and we're gonna eat it. Are you in on this, Moto?
You want me to eat a bag too?
What are the stakes though? We need stakes.
You should look at the Amazon reviews. They're terrible.
Put the stakes up. So
Yeah,
if
what
we
are the
get-
stakes?
If we get
Money or
$100 donated to Patreon.
Well, no, I'm
We
just
all
talking
eat-
about
we all
between
eat-
us.
No, we all eat a bag of
No
Gummy
matter
bear.
what.
no matter what.
Okay,
And
but,
we'll take a
Jesus.
YouTube video and we'll post it on YouTube.
but I would.
I will.
Okay,
I will
but
have you guys
besides
know
that-
right now. The only bathrooms that are on this property I own.
Yeah, well,
How many
you're
bathrooms you got? 2?
one of our
This is going to be blowing up all the
one of our guests happened to puke in your driveway. I'm pretty sure you're all right if there's a little turd out there too. You know?
We'll all bring 5-gallon buckets.
It'll just look like the Vegas show at the Bellagio, just spraying everywhere.
I'm coming with one roll of toilet paper and I'm not sharing, so you guys better bring your own roll.
Need a case full of wet wipes after that.
Just don't fling it out the window.
Well,
Get it stuck.
well, by the end of this episode, we got to come up with some stakes if anybody thinks of anything. So, other than that, we've got Joe. What's your last name? What's
Grijalva.
Grijalva?
Yes.
Just like the chocolate.
Did I do that right?
Yes, right.
Is it just like the chocolate spelled the same, or
There's chocolate
Grijalva?
Grijalva.
Is it? A picture came in my mind when Moto said that about like a piece of chocolate with that same.
That's
the
actually
packaging.
that's Ghirardelli chocolate is what I was talking
Anyway, so thanks for joining us today, Joe.
Yeah, definitely.
We'll get to know you, see what your work's. So, how old are you?
32.
32.
Yeah.
And what do you do right now? What's your job career?
I'm in traffic control. Basically, all that crap you see out on I-5.
Traffic control.
Traffic control. Just throwing out barrels. Anything, anybody, any lanes that are closed down on the freeway.
Oh, so
I'm responsible for the big orange barrels.
right, and the cones and
Yeah,
all that
yeah,
stuff.
all that stuff.
Okay. How long you been doing that?
10 years.
10 years now.
years now, yeah.
So part of a union, probably.
Yep, union, local 440.
Yeah. Right on.
Yeah.
So what union is that? Road workers or
It's a laborers union.
just the laborers
Just
union?
general laborers.
Right on. But you've been
And-
doing the same thing.
Same thing. I got into it, and it's good pay for not a whole lot of work.
Right.
You know, it's pretty chill.
Well, not a whole lot of work. So what's your like day look like?
Pretty much come in, set the signs you guys see, like road work, right lane closed,
Right.
all the appropriate signs that you're supposed to have out. Then taking the lane and pretty much just kind of relaxing a little bit till the lane's ready to get picked up.
And then
I know the taxpayers don't like hearing that. I'm not doing a whole lot, but it's pretty chill for the amount of money we get paid. It's not a backbreaking job, and
So it sounds like you just set up for an hour or two.
yeah, it's
And
pretty
then
much
wait.
setup is pretty much 2 hours, 3 hours, depending on what we're doing. If it's a big weekend closure like we do, we're closing down like 4 lanes on I-5. That's takes some time.
Yeah.
And then after that, we're just kind of maintaining, checking signs, checking the closure, and making sure everything's all good. Everybody's blocked up with the crash trucks, and wait till the end of the night and pick it all up.
So have you ever had any issues with people like running into the stuff and stuff like all the time?
All the time. Especially I-5. Something about I-5 because I've been working on 167 when we did the tolls there,
Yeah.
405 tolls there, a lot of toll work for the past 10 years, but 520 I-90. But something about I-5. There's like accidents or crazy people all the time.
Well, it's always. I mean, I drive home and I can either take I-5 or 167, which are two main freeways up here in Washington. Well, I-5 goes all the way from Canada to Mexico, but it always seemed like way more often there's an accident on I-5 than there is 167. So
Yeah.
a lot of days I'm taking
Yeah.
167 because there's traffic on I-5.